I did watch the movies I liked. I watched all the Mummy movies, Hammer and Universal. But the old Universal Mummy movies are a lot of fun. The first one I think is genuinely just a good movie. It kind of feels like a remake of Dracula, but with like an Egyptian paint job. And I mean that in the most positive way possible. I think it's probably one of the best looking Universal monster movies from that time period. Boris Karloff is fantastic as the mummy. You only really see him as like a mummy for a very brief time, but he really like holds that movie together. He's great in that movie. The sequels, unfortunately, I they don't stand out enough for me to really like recommend them. I feel like the old Universal monster movies, they some series are better than others. Like the Frankenstein movies, they all are pretty awesome. The Dracula movies are very much hit and miss. And this one I think like none of them were miss for me, but none of them were like super interesting. The only thing about the Universal Mummy sequels that I really liked is that the later ones all take place in the swamps of Louisiana. I think a mummy in Louisiana is a really fun idea, and some of them have some pretty interesting climaxes. Like there's one where there's a mummy in a burning building in the swamps of Louisiana. Some of that stuff's fun. I really, really enjoyed watching the Hammer movies, even the bad Hammer movies. But the first one is, I think the first one's actually great. Christopher Lee, even though he despised playing silent monsters, he does it so well. He has the most presence as the mummy when he's an actual mummy. Not like, I know Boris Karloff was pretty great when he was out of the mummy gear, but Christopher Lee is so like he's scary when he's the mummy. He was also scary when he was Frankenstein's monster too. He does it. He just does it so well. And then you got Peter Cushing as the lead in that movie, and it's got like almost like a proto slasher movie element to it. It's a lot of fun. I really like that first Hammer mummy movie. The sequels are not as good. Most of them are just remakes of the original movie that just aren't as good. But I think the last one, I think it was the last one, was the most interesting because it wasn't a stereotypical mummy movie. It was more like a spirit possessing someone and killing people through the spirit, and it was done through like a jewel. There was like a jewel where had a constellation in the jewel, and then like when the sun was, or not the sun, the stars were perfectly aligned, the daughter of like one of the people who disturbed a tomb goes out killing people, and it was, I'm butchering the story on this one, but it was the biggest treat of all those older mummy movies because I really didn't know what to expect. I can't remember what it was called, but I think there was four. Outside of the original, that was the only sequel that I think I'd ever revisit.